everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I appreciate everybody playing all in. Like Mara said, my name is Sarah. I am the MCA, everything with a dollar sign. I've been with KW for quite some time now. Feels like forever, and I'm very grateful for it. I'm excited to spend the afternoon with you guys. This class is 100% what you guys make of it. There are sections where I ask for ahas and input and ideas. And if you guys want to get out of class, I will get at least one answer at each of these questions. So I have no problems waiting until I get an answer. So let's all work together to make this a good class. So I'm going to share my screen really quick. Oh, actually, before I do that, to speak to my class that Mara was talking about, just to let everybody know, my next class is scheduled for January 22nd. It is Zoom. It is in all of your Market Center Monday emails with a link. And it literally takes you through from start to finish. Literally, if you don't know where to start to create an opportunity, you've never touched Command, I take you from start to finish in order to get paid. Tips and tricks through documents, tips and tricks from your compliance department, what to do, what not to do, common errors that I see. So I highly recommend everybody take it at least once. And if you aren't able to attend, I do have a couple of really good recordings. Yes, Mary?
That was going to be my question. I'm
Yep.
unable to attend, and do I need to sign up and then get a recording?
I do currently have a recording, so if you're not able to make it to class, just go ahead and shoot me an email. Yes, Nagam, I'm going to put my information in the chat box now so that everybody has it. And that way, if you're, like I said, if you're not able to make it, just shoot me an email and I'll get you all of those materials. And then now all my info is in the chat, because my one thing is making sure that I protect your guys's profitability, and getting you paid as fast as possible is at the tippy top of that list. So thank you for allowing me to go off script a little bit. I appreciate you, Mara, speaking to that. And now I'm actually going to share my screen, I promise. All right, can everybody see my slides? Perfect. Okay, I love it. All right, guys, so we are going to go ahead and get started. Today we are doing Embrace Your Job. It is section 2 of Ignite. Yesterday, you guys talked about the value proposition of being part of KW. And then today we're going to be talking about the key priorities of a real estate agent, what those are, and discuss what it takes to actually become great. By the end of today, you will be able to apply the 6 core competencies of a business, recognize your role as a fiduciary for clients, review the success system. And to start thinking about what you will learn today, let's consider what questions you might have and what you'd like to learn more about. I'm going to give you maybe like 2 minutes to think about your questions and what you'd like to learn more about today, looking at the agenda and knowing what we're going to talk about. Jot your notes down in your participant guide so that you remember that as we move through today's class, because I have a feeling that a lot of your questions will be answered, but it tells us what we're kind of looking for. So I'll give you another maybe 1 or 2 minutes just to kind of think about what questions you might have. All right, guys, can I have 1 or 2 people share one of their questions or things that they're excited to learn more about? You can either unmute yourself, or I am also monitoring the chat, whatever works best for you. Let's go for one question. Somebody's got to have at least one question. Somebody has a question. I'm sure somebody else might have that same question.
I see some in the chat.
Oh, there it is. Thank you, Mary. Finding an agent to refer to. That is huge. Doing a CMA, yes, that is also very, very useful right now. Co-listing versus a referral. These are great questions, Mary. I love that. I love that. Thank you very much. I have some tips and tricks for finding an agent to refer to out of state, actually. So let's keep that question in mind as we get to the end. Brittany, you look like you want the answer to that question. So let's all remember that when we get to the end, because I get that question all the time, and I have some tips and tricks for you guys when you're like, where do I even start? So that is fantastic. All right, guys. So what part of being a real estate agent excites you the most? What is the number one reason you were like, you know what, 150 hours, I got this in the bag. That's easy, no biggie. What really, really made you want to do this and sign up to be a real estate agent? I see that smile, Nagam. I'm really excited to see what you type. Tough question. So there's just so many. There's so many reasons. It's your calling. Oh, Mary, I love that. The ability to help family. That's huge. That's huge. And there's so many families where, like we always say, it's never a bad time to be in real estate because there's always going to be people going through life events. And you are the people that make this not a painful experience when people are going through something. And you are the ones that answer the questions when people have no idea where to start. You guys are the ones that they really, really rely on. So that's huge. And I see that answer a lot, actually. Having a career in real estate can be extremely rewarding, which we know. Being an agent gives you the opportunity to support someone in making one of the most important decisions of their life, probably the biggest price tag on anything that they're ever going to see. Build relationships with people, and live a really big life. I know a lot of agents who will tell me that they have a client that they worked with 10 years ago that they still go to happy hour with once a month. You know, we're really building relationships in this business, and you might make a lifelong relationship, you know, and that's one of the beautiful things about what you guys do. Behind the results of a successful real estate career are daily activities and habits. The steps are small, but they lead back to a big life for you. Irene, I love that. Being an integral part of somebody's home search and home ownership journey. You are everything. They absolutely cannot do it without you guys. I mean, before you guys went to school, had anybody ever seen a real estate contract? I don't know, I haven't. They still scare me, so that's huge. That's huge. Now we're going to talk about the day-to-day activities of all successful real estate agents, otherwise known as the 6 core competencies of a business, which come from Gary Keller and his team's book, The Shift. Just out of curiosity, I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of it. Has anybody actually read the book Shift? I don't expect any of you to have. I'm just curious.
Not yet, but that's next on my list.
It's on my shelf right there.
Can I borrow it? No, I think I have
Yeah,
one.
I know, right? It is an incredible book. We teach to it all the time, so even though I haven't read it, I probably know about half of the book already, because it's discussed constantly. And it has a lot of tools in it that can help you in shifting markets, regardless of what type of shift. So it's really, really huge. I highly recommend reading it. The 6 core competencies of a business are the priorities you must focus on as you run and grow your business. Incorporating the 6 core competencies, the activities lead to your success as an agent and a business owner implemented at a high level. Welcome to your new job, guys. You guys are done with real estate schooling, and so now you know how to not go to real estate jail, and you know how to not get sued. Now we get to learn how to run a business. And realistically, real estate is a sales career. That's what it is. It's sales. It absolutely is. You're an independent business person. And it's important to understand the components of this job. Essentially, you are it. You're the business owner, you're the financial advisor, you are the transaction coordinator. It's you. There's an appropriate saying, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. Or I think that there's another one that people are more familiar with. If you want something done right, do it yourself. Everyone's heard that one. In your participant guide, you're going to see the 6 core competencies of a business listed, which comes from Shift. Number 1, lead, generate, capture, and convert to appointments. We talk about conversion a lot. 2, present to buyers and sellers and get agreements. 3, show buyers and market sellers. 4, write and negotiate contracts. 5, coordinate the sale to closing. And 6, manage the money. We've reviewed the overall path of Ignite, and you can see that we will cover these 6 competencies. We build on each one as we go, and we're going to go really, really deep on each one as you move through Ignite. Running a successful business involves engagement in all 6 of the activities. And it's interesting, especially in the shifting market that we're in today, because I hear agents who've been in the business for 20, 30 years saying, man, I haven't had to lead generate for years, but the business, I have to right now. And that's what we're saying. Like you really need to use all 6 if you want to have a healthy business, because if you stop lead generating, eventually those leads are going to run out. The first competency is your first priority. Yay, we're going to talk about leads some more. After all, if you have no leads, you have no business. You must have leads to sustain a thriving business, which is what you signed up for, right? I mean, I know everybody wants to change the world, change people's lives, build relationships, but we'd be lying if we were saying we didn't want to get paid at the end of it, right? So we're going to break it down now. You will learn, and it will be repeated over and over throughout Ignite, that your number 1 job is lead generation. I think there's actually multiple classes that just focus on different types of lead generation as well. And there are multiple types. You're not necessarily going to be relying on cold calls. There's agents who never cold call. There are a lot of different types of lead gen. So you just have to find what works best for you. So we're going to break it down really quick. It's the daily practice of talking to people about buying and selling real estate. Capturing is about obtaining accurate contact information, which is the name, phone number, email, home address, and any other data a person is willing to divulge. Capture also means adding new people to your business database so you can converse with them and provide value. Part of why it's important to grab as much information as you can is because at KW, we have some incredible technology that can help you with these leads, because obviously a lead isn't necessarily a signed agreement yet. And if you have their home address, you can do direct mailers. If you have their phone number, you can use command texting. If you have their email, you can set them up on a smart plan. So the more data you have, the more you can have the technology do work for you in the back end and make your life so much easier. Another important component of lead generation and capturing is that you ask for permission to stay in contact with each person. You'll learn more about the importance of this step as we explore lead generation in later classes in Ignite. But getting their permission so that you don't want them to unsubscribe from your email list immediately. If you get their permission, they're going to be expecting it, and they're probably going to actually open your email because they know it's coming. Finally, you're going to convert it to an appointment. Capturing leads is wonderful. However, the ultimate goal is to find active buyers and sellers and setting an appointment.
Sarah,
Yes, my
do
dear.
you know your slide's not changing?
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
big one. We're almost there.
not-
I'm at the very bottom.
Okay.
But yes, so buyers and sellers and setting an appointment to meet and agree to work together in the buying or selling of real estate. Remember that we are learning and building on each new skill as we advance through the entire course of Ignite. This is why it's important to attend every session and complete the course, which I know everybody's gonna do. But like I said, like there's multiple lead generation classes and each of them dive into a different section. So you're really gonna want to attend all of them so you can see the different kinds and what's gonna work best for you. Does anybody have any questions about the first competency? There's a very big spiel on it, so I'm sure that you don't, but I want to ask. All right, guys, let's keep going. The second core competency is to present to buyers and sellers and actually get those agreements. This is converting your leads into an actual, or not converting the leads, you already had the appointment. This is converting it into actual business. This core competency is about your skill during the appointment with the buyer and seller. Presenting to buyers means going through the buyer consultation document, which outlines the entire buying process and all the steps you take to assist the buyer in the process. You're also going to address any questions or concerns the buyers have at that time. Presenting to the seller is similar. You go through the entire listing presentation document with them, which outlines the entire selling process, including the marketing that you'll provide, any additional services that you provide, because everybody is a little bit different and offers something a little bit different. That's what makes you and your business unique. Just outline all the steps that you're going to take in order to help them get their home sold. The expected outcome of both of these presentations is that your client, whether it's a buyer or a seller, will sign an exclusive agreement to work with you. You'll learn all about what you need to do in order to successfully present and obtain that signed document later in this course. And getting those signed agreements is really important because I know that there's a lot of agents without getting an exclusivity agreement with a buyer who will work with a buyer for a couple of months. The buyer goes rogue and goes to an open house. There happens to be an agent there and they write an offer with the agent who happens to be there. And you just work with them for 4 months and you're going, oh man, I just lost out. And it's because the regular public just doesn't understand how it works on the back end. They don't know that they screwed you out of a paycheck. They don't know how that works. And so those exclusive agreements are really important. The third competency is about showing buyers and marketing listings for sellers. What do these mean to you guys? I mean, I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory. Showing buyers is all about understanding the needs of the buyer and selecting houses for them to experience with you. Marketing to sellers translates to marketing their house in the best possible light and via the most channels to ensure that as many potential buyers as possible see it and are interested in it. This is kind of where, you think about the marketing of a house, how there's going to be a very big difference in the people who are going to look at a house that's listed for $500,000 as opposed to $499. It's only $1,000 difference, but there's a lot of people who aren't going to expand their search parameters as soon as it reaches that 500 mark. So how you list the house and how you market it drastically changes who even sees it. This will be covered in more detail as well later. The fourth competency is writing and negotiating contracts. This is a big responsibility and one that many new agents are concerned about and anxious about completing their first contract accurately. Negotiating is another competency that requires practice, calm, and a win-win mindset. Remember, win-win is one of KW's beliefs, win-win or no deal. The fifth competency is about getting the deal all the way to closing, where the buyer gets the new keys to their home or the seller releases the home to the buyer and you get paid. Keep in mind that not all deals make it to close for a variety of reasons. It takes skill, and this is why it's one of your core competencies. And not always, there's so many reasons why things don't get to the closing table. Something could come up in an inspection. I've even heard of agents where the buyers just straight up get cold feet and freak out on the day of closing. So there's a lot of parts to this job that's it's almost like counseling. You're like, I know it's a lot of money, but you're gonna be okay. So anything can happen. And a lot of these are going to be skills. Some of them are intellectual skills. Some of them are emotional skills that you will, just like any other job, you're just going to hone over time. And you have an amazing, amazing PC coach that is going to help you through all of this as you build those skills. Oh my gosh, my mouth gets so dry when I teach. I'm sorry. The sixth and final competency is about managing your money. You already learned from day one that the paycheck you get upon closing is not to be put in your pocket and spent. I know it's really hard. I love shopping on Amazon. I just had 4 packages delivered. Don't tell my husband. Brittany, don't laugh at me. There will be expenses to pay and the ever-present taxes that must be saved and paid every quarter. There is a great KW University course for you to take that's called Profitability Agent Financials. Most likely it will be offered at the regional or international level. It is a virtual class that you can sign up for. If anybody wants help finding that because you're interested, like I said, just shoot me an email. All my info's in the chat. I'm happy to show you where it's at. I do recommend, that's another one that I recommend everybody take at least once. You might not need it in your first 6 months, but I do recommend taking it as you get towards your first 1099. I know everyone's so excited. There's another essential component on this job, and it's mindset. Because sometimes you have to talk a client off the edge. It's mindset every single day. We talked about mindset on day 1, and you got the KW belief systems along with the 6 personal perspectives to keep you going. Who can remember any of the 6 personal perspectives? I don't know why these are really hard for me, even though I have giant signs hanging in our hallway that I walk past every day, but I usually can only remember half of them. Does anybody remember 1? Mary? Maybe? Yeah?
So, moving, let's see, probably the most important thing I think is removing your self-doubt, your limiting beliefs,
That
like
one was
dealing with your self-talk.
Yes. Everybody on this call has experienced negative self-talk, I'm sure. I love you, Brittany, but Brittany. It's tough. And I think we all have heard you're your own worst enemy, right? It's really, really, really easy to break yourself down and tell yourself you can't do it. And I completely agree, Mary. Removing your limiting beliefs is probably my favorite one as well, because I think it's something everyone can learn from. All right, guys, it is important to keep your mindset programmed to success and continue to believe in yourself. There's going to be days when you feel less accomplished. There's going to be days that you need to pull yourself up and keep going. There's going to be days where you come across things in real estate that you've never heard of before. You have no idea how to help your client. Maintaining a mindset focused on being of service, and also knowing that KW, you are at the best place that you possibly could be, because we have a culture of collaboration. If there's ever anything that you haven't come into contact, we have, what is it, Brittany, 650 brokers up and down the I-5 corridor that will take your call.
At least, yeah.
Yeah. And we have a phenomenal leadership team up and down the I-5 corridor ready to take your call. So you are not in this alone. Everyone's got your back. Adopting a mindset and a philosophy of contributing to the lives of other people allows you to be direct and to the point in your interactions with others. With a focus on contribution and being of service, you'll communicate more effectively with customers and win their hearts and minds effortlessly. Energy, enthusiasm, and a deeply rooted belief in doing the best job possible for each and every customer is what's going to attract people to you. Take every opportunity to educate the people in your personal, professional, and social life about what you do and how you can help them. These reminders for people in your network can lead to many, many referrals in business. I actually have one of our agents who I'm really close friends with who I feel so bad for him, but he has just been kicking himself because all of these for sale signs keep popping up next to his house and they don't have his name on it. And it's because he's not Brittany, it's Nick. I know. And it's sad. And he's like, man, why am I not marketing to the people who are right next to me? And you just don't think about it sometimes, but there's so many opportunities and you don't want that to happen. You don't want well, I don't think it would happen with your mom, but you don't want your best friend to list with somebody else, or, your kindergarten teacher, or the person who bags your groceries at the supermarket every single week for years, those people that you talk to regularly. It sucks. And literally all it is a conversation. No worries, Jacob. Oh, he's already off. Never mind. We will get him the recording. I caught that a little late. Sorry, guys. But yeah, and a lot of times, literally all it is having a conversation. I can't even tell you, is wild. I'm not even an agent. How many times real estate comes up at the grocery store? It's kind of weird. But all it is having a conversation and not being afraid to have that conversation. A lot of people don't know, but they want to support you. And if they knew, they would choose you. So it's just, don't be afraid to have that conversation. Your friends and family want to support you.
Well, I think most of the agents have problem with the confidence itself. I mean,
Yeah.
most of us have fear that the other part will not give him fully trust, or he will not believe on him completely.
Yeah.
For me as an agent, I have an issue with the competition because
Mhm.
I have no expert, nothing. So other agent who has years of experiences, I feel in myself that they are better than me. Why other people choose me? They would choose them. It's better
Right.
for them to choose the one who has years of experience.
Mhm.
So I have that issue of confidence, that I trust on myself much more than I do now.
Yeah. Well, but how did those people get to where they are? They got to where they were by having the conversations and asking the question. This is one of the things that my coach, Leslie, is constantly reminding me of is, and I feel like we had this conversation, Brittany, you don't have to know everything. And it's okay to ask questions. And there's going to be stuff that you only encounter once in 30 years of real estate. And that's why being at a brokerage of collaboration is your foot in the door, is your, what is it, feather in your cap? Is that the phrase I'm going for? And you can tell them and be like, hey, I'm still launching my real estate career, and I have 650 brokers who are ready to take my call. I have 650 brokers. We have a hive mind, and we have a lot of information. And you can always say, hey, that is a fantastic question. Let me call my principal broker really quick, and we'll find out together. So a lot of times there are going to be questions that you're not going to know how to answer. And that's okay, because that's how we all learn, right? I mean, I get questions that I don't know all the time, and I'll be like, absolutely, let's go ask Madeline, because I have no idea. And that's okay. And it doesn't make them see you as less of an expert. It just means that that's a question you haven't gotten before. And that's okay too.
I have a
that is a
question.
very great point, though.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
How would you respond to somebody who has, I understand what Nagam was saying, being new and all, but how do you respond to somebody who has reservations with you, like a friend or a family member, very close, reservations to actually have that business with you, having that personal connection, but obviously mixing the business side of it, which, reveals a different
Yes.
angle, and doesn't want to mix that personal and business, I guess, is my question. How do you respond to those kinds of interaction, or how do you
Yeah.
even go out making that conversation? Hey, we're not mixing business and those
Yeah.
kinds of deals.
Totally. So I think it kind of depends on where you're coming from and where they're coming from, which side of it is wanting to keep business and business separate. Is it you having reservations working with family, or is it them having reservations working with you?
Family having reservations working with you.
Okay. So I think that's pretty common, because I've heard of both positive and not so positive experiences working with family. It's the same kind of thing of getting a job, a W-2 job with family. It's tough, and you see a different side of them, and it makes it harder to say no. But at the same time, the best thing that they can do for you is to support your business. And so if you come at it from that way and just say, hey, I completely understand, and I just know that I have your best interest at heart, and I'm going to fight for you like no other agent is. And this is the best way that you can support me in my career. So this is the best fit for you, and it's the best fit for me. So let's see what we can do to come together on how to make this a win-win. Because it is a conversation, and it is tough, and not all families can do it, but it is what's best for them, and it's what's best for you, and they just need to see that. Great question, though. Oh, I just saw 2 new things. Yes, great question, because that does come up a lot. And it's all about supporting each other. It's just like if you had a, I don't know, I'm not coming up with a great example right now. If you had a relative who was a mechanic, you would probably take your car to them, right? Whether they were a good mechanic or not, you'd at least give them a shot because you want to support their business. And so it's the same thing. You're growing a business and you want them to support you, and you're still learning, and that's okay. And yeah, so I appreciate that question. It's very common. Does anybody else have any questions before we go on? Because it's good. We're going to switch gears a little bit. No, I love it. Thank you guys for the engagement. I really appreciate it. This is the most I've talked to anybody in any of my classes. I'm so excited. All right, guys, we're going to discuss some realities about being a real estate agent. Ask the following questions and allow. Oh, hey, okay. How long on average do you guys think it takes to get a buyer or a seller to sign a contract for a sale or listing?
A week?
It seriously depends on your relationship and where they're at.
100%. Where'd the lead come from? Is it somebody you've known for 10 years, or is it somebody that you've had one conversation with at the grocery store? That's
Is
a
it somebody
huge
who's
factor.
moving next week, or is it somebody who's thinking of moving?
Exactly. Hot or cold lead. 100%. Did they click on something on a website and they showed up in your command leads database, or did you actually have an appointment with them? That's totally true, Mary. Funny enough, the average is 1 to 60 days or more. It can, like you said, Mary, it's totally varied, depending on how much time you put in the lead generation every day and how many appointments you go on and obtain signed contracts from those appointments. So that's kind of where they got their data from. Another question, how long does it take for a transaction to close and for you to get paid? I know there's a lot of variables here, but we've got averages we're working on. 30 days, great guess. It's 30 to 60 days. So 100%. Because there's like I said, there's a lot of variables, depends on your market and whether you're working with a buyer or a seller. Also kind of depends on if anything comes up during the inspection period, if anything has to get fixed. There are totally a lot of variables, but yes, 30 to 60 days on average. How quickly does everybody want to get paid? As quickly as possible, I'm sure. It can't be stressed enough how important it is that you guys develop your skills in these areas so that you can get paid and be successful in this business. You're gonna want to lead generate every day. I'm pretty sure in the MREA, they say lead generation is usually 2 hours from 9 to 11. So most of your market centers aren't really going to schedule anything during that time. Also building your database of contacts, communicating with people about real estate daily, committing to go on a lot of appointments because you're not going to get every lead from every appointment you go on. Practice conversations to get better every day. And one thing that you're going to want to do, do you guys remember the quote from yesterday? Anyone can do it, but not everyone will. So are you going to? All right, guys. Why are you not going next? There we go. Here is another quote from Shift, which is the book we talked about earlier. It's about the importance of the 6 competencies and reaching your highest potential. Potential? Here we go. More water. To achieve your highest potential, these 6 core competencies must be done consistently and done well. Because if you have an amazing appointment, but you only go on one appointment, you're limiting yourself. But you're going to need to do them consistently. After covering this section, what are your guys' ahas? I'm going to have everybody jot their ahas down in their participant guide. And then if I could have somebody, just one person, share one of their ahas, that would be awesome. And I'll also give you like 2 minutes to write down your thoughts.
I can't wait to go through your class on coordinating from signing to closing because so much has changed.
Yeah. Yeah. Just a little. That's the thing is there is so much opportunity in this market for you guys because it is different than any other market that we have seen. And so there's agents who've been in the business for 20, 30 years who've never seen a market like this. So it's really a level playing field for you guys. This is a great time to get into it. I'll give you guys 1 more minute to write your thoughts down. All right, let's keep going. Now that we've introduced the 6 core competencies, you know the essentials of what your job as a real estate agent entails. There's 2 ways that you can serve as your clients, as a functionary or as a fiduciary. We learned earlier how important it is to maintain a mindset focused on being of service. Let's imagine doing business with a company, for example, a car repair company, that doesn't really care about your needs. They just focus on getting the job done, getting paid. They don't build a relationship with you or stay in touch during the job or after the job. You come in, they fix it, you pay, you leave. Now we're going to imagine doing business with a different car company. This one listens to you, anticipates your needs, helps you make decisions, educates you on the entire process, acts like an actual partner in the process, keeps you updated on the status of the work, and even follows up with you after the job to make sure nothing went wrong. You didn't have any questions afterwards, nothing came up. What's the difference? The first company is acting as a functionary. The second company is acting as a fiduciary. Your role as a respected and successful agent is to be a fiduciary. In The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, Gary Keller explains a functionary is one who is in a specific task relationship with their clients. They do the job. While a fiduciary is one who not only does the tasks of the job, they are also in a high trust relationship with their clients and feel total responsibility for the outcome. You are emotionally invested, which is the difference between the two. This is especially important in real estate when people are making their most expensive purchase. Like I said earlier, this is probably the biggest price tag most people are ever going to see in their lives. Unless they go overseas, but that's a different class. Why would a prospective buyer or a seller prefer to work with an agent who presents themselves as a fiduciary versus a functionary? Because a fiduciary places their clients' interests ahead of all others, even their own. What does this mean? We talked about it earlier. Win-win or no deal. If the transaction doesn't benefit the client, it's no deal. It's really important because a lot of clients are worried that an agent is just trying to get paid and they're going to shove them into any house that they can get them to. This is what sets you apart because you're going to be watching out for things. Oh, you work from home. This house doesn't have enough outlets for you, so this isn't going to work. I noticed that the bonus room only has one outlet. That's just not going to work. This is what sets you apart because you're really, really thinking about it. May I get the Zoom link, time and date of the class? Oh, is this Irene, is that for my class?
Yeah, the class
Yes.
for later. For later.
Absolutely. It is on the
I'll get it.
22nd.
I'll get it and paste it.
Cut and paste. Thanks, Britt. Appreciate you. This is why you're here. But yes, it's on the 22nd, Irene, and it will be recorded. And I do have a recording as well if you can't make it, like from a previous class. All right, so being a fiduciary is a big deal. It's actually kind of an honor. These people are paying you thousands of dollars and trusting you to help them spend hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's more important than ever in today's market to wear this badge of honor proudly. Helping your clients understand your fiduciary role is a big part of what you offer as an agent. Let's talk about some examples of how you can serve your clients' fiduciary during a real estate transaction. Okay, so this one is a little bit tough. They want us to do an activity that's designed to be in person, and we break you guys out into little groups, which obviously we can't do. So we're gonna go off script a little bit and adjust it. What I'm gonna have you guys do, let me see. We're gonna go through the first 5 core competencies, and I'm just gonna have you guys either shout out or put in the chat what the difference would be for each core competency, what a fiduciary would be, and what a functionary would be. So number 1, thank you for putting that in the chat, Britt. Everybody, the information is there now if you want to copy and paste it into Google. So for lead generate, capture, and converting to appointments, what would the difference between being a fiduciary and a functionary be? Anybody?
Well, I think fiduciary means not reveal the seller's information, privacy. Any private information should be fiduciary kept with and not reveal it to anyone.
Definitely. That is very important. I don't think that's quite what we're looking for here. This is like so fiduciary is more like going the extra mile. You're not just facilitating a task, you're really, really digging deep and caring. So for lead generation, capturing and converting to appointments, a functionary would really just be, you set the appointment, you meet, you sign the docs, you leave. You don't ask them any questions. You don't ask them why they're shopping for a house, because someone could be Someone could be like, all right, I'm looking to buy. And you're like, okay, great. Sign the doc and they leave. But if you really take the time to be the fiduciary, you're going to go, why are you looking for the house? Oh, you're getting divorced. I am so sorry. Does that mean that you're looking for something smaller? You know, it allows you to ask more pointed questions and really care and build that relationship. What you're doing as a fiduciary is anticipating the needs of someone in your sphere who is considering selling their home by following up with them regularly about the current state of the market. 2, presenting to buyers and sellers and getting agreements. What you're really going to want to do to go above and beyond is actually educate your client during the process. This is what we're doing. This is why we're doing it. You're not just sending them things to sign and having them wonder why they're signing it. Showing buyers and marketing sellers. You're going to want to go that extra mile, advising your seller to consider multiple offers to have the most beneficial outcome instead of just trying to get paid as fast as possible. That's really the difference here that we're talking about. Functionary is get in, get out, get paid. Fiduciary is digging deep, going the extra mile, and making it an experience. Make them want to call you again. Make them want to refer their best friend and their mom to you. Why are they choosing you over the other guy? All right, so now we're going to talk about how you serve as a fiduciary for the 6th core competency of a business, managing the money. Managing your money means being responsible about how to handle your finances. And would you trust someone with such a high dollar purchase if they can't manage their own finances? Probably not. In addition to giving you validity, managing your own money leads to financial security. Financial security provides you the freedom to be discerning about which real estate transactions you become involved with or not. I have had agents fire clients before. That's the problem with working with the general public is sometimes people suck, you know, and you have to really protect yourself, and you want to make sure that you're in a financially stable place that you don't have to work with those clients because you can't pay your bills. You know what I mean? And so that's why it's one of the things that's really important is that it gives you the freedom to choose who you work with. And it allows you to have a lot more power in your business. There may be times that you choose to decline a deal because it doesn't allow you to remain in high integrity with yourself and your client. You're gonna have clients that fight you on things, that don't believe that you're correct, and that fight you tooth and nail or ask you to do things that aren't necessarily ethical. And you want to be in a position where you decline that deal if you feel like it's taking you outside of that place. And yesterday, actually, they introduced the KW belief system, the Y4C2Ts. Yes, Brittany, win-win or no deal. That's the W in our Y4C2Ts. It's your guidepost for knowing how to serve as a fiduciary to your clients. How are you living the Y4C2Ts while serving as a fiduciary for your clients? How can being a fiduciary take you from being good to great? Win-win or no deal. You're not just trying to make a buck. Oh man, do I have them all? I don't think I have them all. Oh no. Oh, do I know them all? Integrity, do the right thing. Oh,
I got them
thank you, Brittany. My brain's not working.
on my wall.
Oh, they're on your wall. Perfect.
Customers always come first.
Always come first. Yes.
Commitment in all things.
In all things. Yes.
Communication.
Seek first to understand. That's my
Yep.
favorite one.
Me too. Creativity, ideas before results. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty. Equity, opportunities for all. Success results through people.
I love that. Thank you very much, Brittany. My brain does not work on the spot, but those really are, it's your roadmap. It's your roadmap for how to be a fiduciary and not just a functionary. You want to have integrity. You want to lead with equity. You want to work as a team and a partner with your clients. So I highly recommend, if you don't have a copy of it, let me know. Just type it in the chat if you want, like maybe a JPEG of it or something. I have it printed out on my wall. It's just on the other side of my desk. But yeah, it's a really good thing to refer back to as a motivator in how to really run your business and teach your clients.
It'll also get your clients to come back to you. They'll be your forever client.
Exactly. And that's how you have to lead generate less, is when your clients, your past clients, send you referrals. Can you, did you see that, Britt? Can you shoot a copy to Cassie? Have I been saying it wrong? Is it Cassie or Casey?
It's Cassie. You're
It
saying
is
it correct.
Cassie. Yes. Okay. I feel better now. Thank you.
You want the graphic?
I would love the graphic. That would be amazing.
Perfect. You got it, girl.
Thanks.
All right, guys. So what are your ahas from this section on functionary versus fiduciary? I'm going to let you guys, again, I'll give you like 2 minutes, jot your thoughts down, and then I'll have one person talk. I know when I first started teaching this class, the functionary versus fiduciary was my favorite part. It was a big, big, like, for me as well.
I love that, because I actually years ago defined my core values, and my core values lay over top of Keller Williams like that.
Yay. Oh, I
So it
love
makes
that so much.
It makes life easy.
It does. It's perfect. You're already there. You already live in the Y4C2Ts. There's just more words.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you, Mary. All right, 1 more minute for ahas. All righty, let's keep going. Actually, before we keep going, does anybody need a bio break? This is a 2-hour class. No, we good? All right. In this section, you guys are going to be introduced to your daily success system, which is part of your Daily Ignite course. The success system gets you in the habit of lead generation while in the company of your fellow Ignite participants, your facilitator, like me, and others in the Market Center who will support you and help you in your journey. You've already learned that your first core competency is lead generation, because without leads, your business cannot sustain itself. More water. In the MREA, Gary Keller states, what you have to embrace is the fact that it is the number of qualified leads you have that will either grow your business, keep your business, or put you out of business. Nothing else about your business will have as big an impact on it as the number of leads that you have. Why do you guys think that cultivating leads are so essential to the success of your business? Because leads are different than contracts. Any ideas on why it's so essential?
Because not everyone that is in your contact base is ready to do something. So getting new leads leads you to people who are ready to do something now.
That is exactly right. 100%. Not every lead turns into a deal. And it's a numbers game. And we've been talking about this a lot over the last couple of years as we've been in this shift, because even in a shift, Gary Keller says in the MREA, in a shift, you have to double and even triple down on lead generation because fewer of those leads are converting. And that's kind of where we're at today. Although lead generation and lead follow-up are the most important priorities you have when running and growing a thriving business, sometimes they may feel uncomfortable to do so, especially as a new agent. Feeling at ease when talking to people you know and don't know about how you can help them with their real estate needs is a skill that takes to develop. We were talking about that earlier. One of the best ways to feel more comfortable communicating with potential leads is by role playing and practicing the most common conversations that you will have with your clients, potential clients, and other agents involved in a real estate transaction. It's also imperative to have an accountability system in place to support your consistency in lead generation and lead follow-up. I can tell you that we've felt this even just in the last couple of months. If there's no accountability, it's not gonna happen. All right. In the first session of Ignite, we introduced the six personal perspectives, and now we're going to elaborate on the sixth personal perspective, being accountable. This is a quote from the book by Gary Keller and team, The One Thing. What are your ahas from today's quote, accountable people achieve results others can only dream of? It's a big one.
A dream is a dream, but in order to make it come true, you need action.
Ooh, Mary, that should be a quote.
Consistency.
Yes. Brittany, where's Gary Keller's email? I need to send that to him.
Let me grab that for you.
Yes, that is 100% true. That is so true, Mary. Accountability is a crucial part of achieving your goals. When you report to someone else on your progress to your goals, you gain more focus and motivation. Also, I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure everybody throughout our entire lives, especially when we were in high school, I mean, everybody's let themselves down, but it hurts so much more. And it's so much more motivating when you're trying not to let somebody else down. If somebody else is holding you accountable and you have to tell them, I'm so sorry, I didn't make my 30 calls. That feels so much worse than just knowing you didn't do it. Think of accountability as a process. It's difficult to maintain drive over the long term, but when you must defend your activities to an objective observer, it becomes easier to stay focused. Accountability is about getting and implementing feedback. You must take time on a regular planned basis to meet with whoever is holding you accountable, look at your numbers, and refocus your efforts. We do this as a leadership team every single day. Every single day we have a 30-minute meeting to start our week where each day we talk about a different metric and we check in on it and we look at our notes and we talk about what we talked about last week and have we made any progress. And since we started doing that, everything's changed. And it seems so simple. It is, actually. You just have to do it and you have to commit to it. Speaking of accountability, you can't do it alone. For this reason, in Ignite, we partner up with another participant to help each other succeed. One of the great benefits of having an accountability partner is that it increases your productivity and it keeps you on track and in check with your goals. We call this knowing your numbers. You will provide an accountability you will provide accountability for your partner, and your partner will provide accountability for you. We suggest that you follow these guidelines that are also listed in your participant guide when you provide and receive accountability. Number 1, you're going to provide a safe place to share. When you have an accountability partner, it's kind of a vulnerable place, especially if you didn't hit your goals, because if you didn't hit your goals, then you have to talk about why and what you're going to do differently. If you are going to be a good accountability partner, you need to create a safe space for your partner to share, because that also creates a safe space for you to share. You guys aren't there just, kicking the can down the road and showing up to a meeting for no reason. You're there to help each other. You're also going to follow through with action items. Make notes when you follow up with them. Hey, how did this go? Listen and pay attention while the other person shares. Don't be listening, thinking about how you're going to respond. I think everybody knows what that feels like. You're also going to set a frequency of checking in on each other. And that way you have a clear expectation of, hey, we're going to meet once a week on Monday at 9 a.m. Or like, hey, I really think I need more accountability than that. Let's meet Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You want a clear expectation of when that accountability check-in is going to be. And that way you can hold each other accountable to it. You're also going to dig deep to find out why you do the things that you do. Hey, that really worked for you. Tell me what you did, because you can also learn from each other. You're both learning together. And like I said, hive mind. More minds means more knowledge. You're going to want to respect each other and the process. I feel like that one is pretty self-explanatory. Create a commitment and stick to it. Be open to receiving feedback and give specific feedback. You don't just want to say, hey, you did great. You know, that doesn't help anybody. You're going to want to say, oh my gosh, you did such a great job on your listing presentation. I noticed you missed this one thing that could have really helped them. So I would recommend doing this in the future. You know, that is going to help them so much more. And it's also going to show them the kind of feedback that you're getting and increase the kind of feedback that you get as well. You set the pace of how much value that check-in is going to be. And you're going to want to have each other's best interests in mind. Like I said, you're not just there hanging out. You're there to help each other. So use your time wisely and respect each other's time. Earlier, I think you kind of heard everybody introduce themselves maybe when Mara was doing the accountability check-in. But does anybody already have an accountability partner? No? Okay. Can I have you guys, I would recommend either,
Is that just, let me ask you a quick question. Is that just for real estate or is that in general?
just for real estate
Okay.
I'm going to say for Ignite on this one.
Or Ignite? Okay.
So
No.
if I would recommend, and you guys can kind of decide what works best for you. We do have a smaller group today. I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to kind of work it out in the chat. Either pick an accountability partner, or if you guys want to go in as a small group, that could also be helpful. But I highly recommend sticking your information in the chat so you guys can partner up, because that's only going to help you as you move through this program. I'll give you guys like 2 minutes. And then when you go to set up those meetings, I recommend minimum once a week, absolute minimum. Twice a week would be recommended, especially since between PC and Ignite, you guys have 4 classes a week. It would kind of allow you guys to decompress from the classes as well and kind of bounce ideas off of each other. That's just a recommendation. And then you're also going to want to decide if it's going to be an in-person check-in, like, hey, text me on Sunday, see if I made my calls, you know, what that looks like for you. All right, guys, thanks for hanging in there with me. We are getting close. All right, guys, let's see here. This is another in-person activity, so let me see how we're going to adjust this really quick. Okay. So in your participant guide, you're going to see a list of 6 questions. In the coming days, each time that you guys check in with each other, You're going to ask the other people the 6 questions to help them assess their progress towards the completion of the success system activities. How did you do? How do you feel about that? Did you have any opportunities for improvement? How will you address those opportunities? What were your wins? And how will you celebrate your wins? Now, these are just kind of like a roadmap of questions that you guys can ask. Obviously, as you guys meet, you'll kind of feel out what you want your accountability to look like. For now, can I have you guys, does anybody have a business goal that you want to declare and share? What that goal, how accomplishing that goal will impact your life and what it will mean for you? Can I have at least one person share? I know you guys have goals. You wouldn't be here if you didn't.
Oh my gosh, my life coach in me really gets me in trouble because I talk too much. But
Don't worry, Mary, I'm that person.
so one of the reasons why I added real estate back in after a 20-year hiatus of,
Oh, wow.
so I was a realtor for 23 years, and then I married a man that had a training company. So we did a ton of training, and I am running our training company.
Oh,
So,
amazing.
but after 3 moves in 4 years, I decided I still wanted to be in real estate.
Yeah.
And I've got older parents and older relatives that are in the process of doing life changes. And so in order to help family, I said, yeah, I'll go become a real estate agent again. So, but when I started looking at what my goals are, I think I'm kind of driven and focused. And so I'm looking at achieving 20 sales this year. And in order to do that, I've got to hit some pretty serious marks. And I'm trying to take advantage of the SMART plans and different activities and learn as much as I can. I'm picking Brittany's brain all the time, and she's wonderful.
We love Brittany.
But so in order to find an accountability buddy, I need somebody who will hold my feet to the flame, because I'm really good at getting like 98% done and stopping.
I totally
Like
feel that.
I have a book that all it needs is the back cover.
You're so close.
Yeah.
I totally feel that. I totally feel that. Is there anybody on this call who is ready to raise their hand and hold Mary's feet to the fire? Nagam, I know you want to. Yes, you in? I love it. I love it. Can I have you guys share your info in the chat so y'all can connect? That is amazing, Mary. And I totally feel you on that. I have this conversation all the time that I really, it's tough for me to get into habits because I'm really good at getting to the 60-day mark, but getting to that 90-day mark is just so hard. So I'm with you on that. Another very important duty of accountability partners is to role play conversations and be certain to set up a time to do this. Like we were talking about, Nagam, earlier, a lot of it is just practice, and practice to the point that it doesn't feel like right now it feels uncomfy because you're not used to it. And it's just like anything else. It's just practice. And this is a great time to expand your confidence with asking forward questions, which we're going to talk about in a second, which is offering value or for following up on a social post. Make good use of this time together. Top agents report they continue to practice conversations daily. It's that important. And if you want to use your accountability partner as just accountability and not practice, that's also okay, because we do have a daily dialogue practice available on Zoom. You'll find it on your guys's training calendars. And so there's multiple opportunities for practice. We highly recommend you taking advantage of it. In the first session, we introduced the success system. We've provided you with a success system tracker in your participant guide as another method of accountability that we will be using during Ignite. Today, we are going to focus on the first 3 activities. Discuss the other activities in the other sessions of Ignite coming up. Remember, completing these activities is important because it will help you build and nurture relationships with others. If you
Hmm.
can't measure it, you can't improve it. It's a Peter Drucker quote, a famous business consultant. How does this apply to the success system we just discussed? It's pretty simple. If you don't have a measurable goal, I mean, everybody's heard of SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, attainable. I don't think R is realistic, but it feels right. And I know T is timely. But it has to be measurable. If it's not measurable, you have no metric to tell yourself if you're winning or not.
Someday never comes.
Huh?
Someday never comes.
Someday never comes. Mary with the quotes. My gosh. We're going to run a t-shirt business after this, and Mary's going to be our designer.
Did you know that Mary is also a life coach? Also,
Oh, yeah, she did
Yeah.
mention that. It makes sense. It makes sense. You're very good at your job. The success system may seem like a tall mountain to climb, and it can be achieved by measuring and improving every day. Top agents measure their important numbers so that they can improve. We talk about knowing your numbers all the time. You'll hear that again and again throughout Ignite. Start measuring now and condition yourself into this habit. You will be so happy you did, because when you get those wins, when you hit your marks, it feels so good. And it's I don't know about you guys. I'm a check a boxer, I'm a color coder, I'm a highlighter. And so when I get a check a box, it goes green and it says 100%, I get really happy. So, but you can't do that if you don't have goals that are measurable. The first activity on the daily success system tracker is to engage in 10 conversations with people that you know daily. You may wonder what you should say in your conversations. Remember that yesterday they introduced the Ford method to you, which is an approachable way to start a conversation with someone in your sphere of influence. As a review, what does Ford stand for? It's right there on the slide. Family, occupation, recreation, and dreams. Why do you suppose Ford works as a conversation method? Because it puts focus on the other person, it shows that you care about the person, and it puts everybody at ease. And realistically, the Ford method is a really great way to separate yourself as a fiduciary and not a functionary. A functionary is not going to ask any of these questions. So simply by using the Ford method, that will set you apart as well. Does anybody have like some example of questions that you could ask a member of your sphere about their family, their occupation, what they do for fun, their dreams? I mean, I feel like a lot of those are questions that you could ask. But you're just gonna dig deep, and you're gonna like, oh, you're traveling to Washington. Do you have family up there? Are you going for fun? Is it a business trip? When they say something, it's about peeling back the layers. Think about Shrek. You're peeling back the layers of the onion. There are some best practices. Ford is not an interview or an interrogation. It's meant to stimulate a conversation as a two-way dialogue. When you use Ford, your role is to ask a question and then listen carefully without interruption. Then you're going to make comments, add your own thoughts, and ask some more probing questions. Asking more questions is especially important. This is what shows that you're engaged and you care, because people who don't care are going to follow up with a question that's completely unrelated, which shows them you're working off of a script, which we don't use the word script anymore. But you want to ask questions that show that you're engaged in the conversation and that they're your focus. They have to be appropriate questions. For example, when a person answers an occupation question with, well, I got laid off and I'm on unemployment, you're not going to ask them what they do for fun. You're not going to ask them the last time they took a family vacation. That's going to be kind of insensitive and rude, right? Instead, you would ask appropriate questions like, How can I help? I can ask around and find out who's hiring now. I've got a resource of agents who might know of opportunities. Let me know if that's appropriate. And you're going to ask permission, which we talked about earlier. Let me ask if, or not let me ask. Let me know if you feel comfortable with me reaching out and seeing if there's some opportunities for you guys. Love you, Brittany. Thank you for hanging out. Oh, love that you're exchanging info. I thought you said you had to hop off. Sorry. Instead, you would ask appropriate questions. And if a response to an occupation question is, I just started a new job, you're not going to respond with, so what do you like doing for fun on the weekend? You're going to ask, how's that new job? Do you like it? Is it a career change? Why did you end up with a new job? Show them that you're engaged and that you care. Now we are going to look at an example of a conversation using the Ford method to inform people that you are a new real estate agent. Who is willing to do a role play with me really quick? Brittany, your face. Mary, you want to do it? Yay, I love it. Okay.
Sure.
So we're just going to have a real quick conversation.
Okay.
Hi, it's been some time since we've talked. How's the family doing these days? Have the kids gone back to school? How old's your youngest now?
Hey, Sarah. Yeah, like my youngest he's turning 29 this year.
Oh my goodness, that's incredible. So probably not in school then.
I have grandkids in school.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh my goodness. I bet your kiddos are so happy to not have the grandkids at home anymore, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's time for a break. My
They
kids
are.
are actually back in school too. We're all healthy over here. I know that winter is pretty crazy. Where are you working these days? Are you working from home or back at the office?
So I'm doing hybrid stuff. I'm all over the place. Primarily, I go to my client. And yeah, how about you?
That is really fantastic. I love hearing that. You know, I actually decided to get into a new business recently. I've become a real estate agent and I'm really excited about helping people achieve their dream of home ownership. It's keeping me really busy, but I'm still hiking as much as I can. Since you hike, do you have any recommendations? Are you hitting the trails this weekend?
So whereabouts are you?
I am in the Eugene area.
Oh, great. So Skinner Butte's always fun to hike.
Oh my goodness.
I
Skinner's
mean,
Butte is beautiful.
it's a quick and easy one to get to.
Heck
So,
yeah, I love that.
but yeah,
Did you happen to pick up any new hobbies during quarantine? I know a lot of people have.
drinking.
Best response. I love that. Are you planning on traveling next year? Maybe to France, try out some new wines?
Actually, we're going back to Kauai again this year with the other grandkids.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm like legit not in the role play. I'm so excited for you to do that. Well, my dear, it's been so great catching up with you. I did want to let you know about my new real estate business, and I'd love to tell you more. We've just kind of been chatting here, but do you have time to meet for coffee so that maybe we could talk about real estate a little bit?
Coffee sounds great.
That's amazing. I love it. Thank you so much, my dear.
Mm.
Okay, guys, see how easy that was? We kind of went off script a little bit, but that's what happens, you know. The script wanted me to be like, my kids are back at school too, and then I had to think on my feet and change it a little bit. And that's really what it's all about, is what makes sense for the conversation that you're in. Show them that you're interested, show them that you care. And even in that conversation, that was just asking for an appointment, and it was dropping, hey, I'm a real estate agent, can we meet and talk about it? We're not necessarily going to talk about it now, we're just chatting. And so that's something that can work a lot for a lot of people. The second activity on the daily success tracker is to add 10 contacts to your command database daily. Contacts are people who have agreed to be in a two-way relationship with you. We did talk about asking for permission earlier. You will start with the people in your sphere and those you know and who know you. Has anybody already put a command contact into command? Mary,
Oh,
that
you
face
don't
says no.
You don't want to hear my story. No, I put a ton of them in. Brittany and I are working on that now, but it's super easy to put them in. Now
It is.
I just need to learn to fix them all.
Tell
And what
her
I'm
how
planning
many
on
you
doing is
have.
just going through and saying, hey guys, I totally messed up my contacts. So I'm just updating, making sure I have everything correct because I have some of your old contact information mixed with your new one. So how do we fix this?
Amazing. Oh, that is fantastic. Well, Brittany, we love you. If she needs any help, that might be a little over my head, but I do know how to put them in.
She has 2,000 so far.
2,000, holy crap. That is
It's a-
incredible.
Yeah, any
That's
work we do,
incredible.
we're gonna utilize Crystal too. So
Crystal. Okay.
So
Something
you
tells
guys,
me that's from the life coach Ness.
so I'm like super old. So I started my real estate license in 1984.
That's incredible.
So was a realtor for 23 years and
That's
then took a 20-year hiatus and coming back. But I've got contacts from back in the day when I put them in on a Palm Pilot, if you remember what those are.
I do.
So-
I used to have one. It was a lot of fun.
This is why it's all a mess.
That's
So
amazing though. Hey, that is still huge. It might be a little bit of work up front, but that's going to set you up for success and that is incredible.
Yep.
Also, I want to give a huge shout out to Cassie who reached 120 as of yesterday, starting from scratch. That's incredible. I love it. Nagam. No. Okay. Well, I'm going to show you guys really, really quickly.
Don't even ask.
Or you just haven't put one into command yet, and that's okay. So I'm going to show you guys how it is super freaking easy. Can you see this? I changed, it's not the slide anymore. Perfect. So when you log into command, you have all your little applets over here. And then this little guy is your contacts. Takes you to your dashboard. And then you have this little add a contact button over here. It's pretty dang simple. The only thing that's actually required is to put in their name. Although obviously we talk about the health of a lead, your ability to market to them, having your technology work for you, we talked about earlier. You want to capture as much information as you can. You also have a tagging function down here. Nothing on the back end from your leadership team. There's no requirement for using tags. Tags is just a really great way to sort through your contacts if you need to look for like a certain group of people. One recommendation that I have for you guys that comes up every year is I have agents reach out to me and ask about people they did business with in 2023 or all the contacts they added to their database in 2023. There is no way for me to sift that or look through that report, but you can add it as a tag. So you can say 2023 new contact, or you can add another tag that says 2023 contract, like you actually worked with them. And that way you can filter through it at the end of the year. But tags are not required. They're 100% for you. You can leave them blank if you don't want to use them. But
No,
have your
this is
technology
for-
work for you. Yes.
This is just contacts, lead contacts, or okay. Do you have to have, I don't know, maybe some random question, but like, do you have to have some sort of their permission to have them added to your contact? Because I know sometimes when you do like a mailer or something like that, or some sort of auto generation where they just generate their names for handing out some flyers or something,
Totally.
then it would come from that contact, right?
Yeah, so So there's a lot of different ways to get leads and to get databases. And a lot of times when we talk about getting permission, that's like if you have a client come do an open house and you're like physically talking to them and like, hey, can I get your phone number? I'd love to follow up with you and give you some more information. That's just physically talking to somebody, getting their information and getting their permission. There's absolutely other ways to get people in your database. I know that I have quite a few agents who will partner with like lenders with people that they have in their database, or title companies that can say you want to market specifically to like a certain radius around where you live. There's ways for you to get lists from title companies with people's information as well. So it kind of depends on where you got your information. This is kind of like if you physically met somebody at the supermarket or at an open house and you needed to enter their info. If you did get one of those lists from title, you'd end up with an Excel spreadsheet in which you're just going to use your little import button. Because then you just have a list and you're just importing them. And then it allows you to do like bulk editing where you could add a tag that says lead source from AmeriTitle or whatever. Again, not required, just if you want to sort them somehow that way.
Let me ask you this. I'm working with a title company and I get a list of like recorded foreclosures. Those literally just have their mailing address, their name, just very basics.
Mm-hmm.
Should I be adding those to the command as well?
And I'm so sorry, what kind of list are they giving you again?
They're giving me recorded foreclosures.
Recorded foreclosures. Absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
Well, then I'll have way more after I add those.
Yes, Cassie, yes. Get it.
My
Also-
understanding, Sarah, is if she did something like that and made a tag that said foreclosures,
Mhm, you
then she
absolutely
could send out, she could do a smart plan based on those tags, right?
Yes, Mary, yes. And that's another thing. It allows you to that's totally, thank you, Mary. 100%. You can filter when you set people up on a smart plan, you can filter it by tags as well. So that is a super great way to have your technology working for you. Yay! Oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. Okay. Went through that. So first, you're going to start out simple by adding the people listed in your participant guide in add contacts to command or whatever database you use if you have no contacts in command yet. The third activity on the daily success system tracker is to write 10 handwritten notes to those in your sphere daily. This takes a little effort for sure. You need cards, postage, addresses, and then it takes a short amount of time to actually handwrite them. What do you guys think the purpose is of sending handwritten notes to people and how it's different than sending them a text message?
It's more personal, like it's personalized and sort of just speaking to that
100%. It's
person.
personal. 100%. Absolutely. Attention getting. Absolutely, Cassie. I mean, you guys get spam mail constantly, but when you get a handwritten note, you're like, oh my God, who sent me a letter, right? It grabs your attention and it is personal, and you know that somebody took the time to actually write that out, because I think we all know that it takes probably about 30 seconds to type something out and click print. And so it really, that's taking you a step above and sets you apart from other people. People appreciate it. It distinguishes you, and top agents do it a lot, actually. What are some things that you could say in handwritten notes to your sphere? I think that's a tough one to answer because it kind of depends on what category they are in your sphere. You know, is it somebody that you have known for a year and all of the information you have about them is new? Or is it someone that you've known for 20 years and you happen to know that they just lost their job? You know, like I think that one's kind of tough, and it just kind of depends on how much information that you have about the person. Mary, you have an idea?
Oh, I was going to say one of the best handwritten notes I got when I moved back to Medford, I spoke at the chamber forum,
Mm-hmm.
and somebody that I haven't heard from for probably 15 years sent me a note saying, "Oh my gosh, I loved your presentation. Let's go have coffee."
Oh, that's amazing.
And I was like, "Wow,
And
how'd you find me?"
how big of a difference did that make for you though?
No, it was huge that they'd find me for starters,
Yeah.
you know, and then reach out.
And you took that coffee appointment, didn't you? Yes, you did. I know you did. So it works. It absolutely works. What are your guys' ahas about the success system? I'm going to have you jot them down in your participant guide, and then I'll have maybe one person share.
Do you have a PDF of that daily success system that we
Yes.
could get? Because
Yes.
I would love to put that in my journal, in my daily journal.
Absolutely. I either have one or I will make one.
Well, I tried to screenshot it, but you were too quick.
I'm so sorry. Wait, how far back is that?
It's quite a ways back. Don't worry
Okay.
about it.
I'll find it and I'll just print a PDF from the.
I just think it'd be really cool to put in your daily journal, your
Yeah.
daily, so that you can check it off.
I
I'm gonna
love
check off.
that. Does anybody else want it? Yeah, Nagam? Okay. Yay. Okay. I'll just send it to everybody. Okay. I love
Yay.
that. Also, I'm sorry I didn't speak to it earlier. Did everybody see Ryan Taylor's chat? That's awesome.
What did Ryan say?
He said he does family photography and he's planning on offering free sessions in order to add people to his database. That is a
Oh, very good idea.
huge leverage piece. That is so smart. And for people who have multiple avenues like you, Mary, with the life coaching, you could offer a free consultation or something and get
Mhm.
their foot in the door that way. There are a lot of really interesting ways to be creative. Ryan, that is a great idea.
Mhm. I'm going to touch base with Ryan because I'm getting ready to list my parents' house in Sutherland where he lives.
Oh, yay. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yay. All right, guys. What do you guys think the call to action for today is? You're going to start your daily success system. Yay. All right, guys, we have come to the end of our lesson for today. I know that we still had that one really good question for Mary I have not forgotten about. Before we hop off, remember that each day in Ignite, you grow in how you think, feel, act, and implement what you've learned. From learning and ahas, you move towards the achievement of your big life. And that's kind of why we're here, right? To achieve our big goals. I'm going to have you guys write in your participant guide how you've grown in each of these areas on the screen. And then we're going to do final ahas and we're going to do some final questions. So I'll give you guys like 2 minutes, maybe 3 to answer the questions in your participant guide. And then we'll do some final questions.
I put tags in there. Have a KW agent, right? KW agent, save.
All right, guys, does anybody have any final questions from class before we go to that question from Mary before we started? No questions is also fine.
2024. Oh, I just found where I can write the little notes because I always want to take notes. And so down at the very bottom, it says about. And adding contacts. So we're adding all these people to my contact list.
That is fantastic. I love that. More contacts, more contacts.
Well, we should probably put our actual names because it says to add everybody. And we
Uh-huh.
don't have actual addresses and stuff.
Oh, so you're talking about the people on the call?
Mhm.
So here's a pro tip. Has anybody here heard about the KWL or not KWLS? Oh my gosh, I've totally done this before. KW white pages.
Mm,
So
Yes,
there is. Has anybody been to mykw.kw.com yet?
my KW what?
mykw.kw.com. Why is mine not in there? Whatever. I'm just gonna go into Tanya's for now. So you have this lovely resource of information. There's so much here. We're not going to dive too much into this today, but when you log in, you have this little white pages link down here. And what's really funny, Mary, is this is a tool I was going to use to answer your question from earlier. So the white pages is an internal database of every single person that exists in the Keller Williams system. If you have a KW email, if you ever got onboarded, if you have a profile that is active in KW, even if you're not licensed, all leadership members, all admins, you can search anybody in here. If you ever need anybody's information, oh crap, I didn't get their phone number. You're either going to search from associate information, or if you're not sure of their last name, but you happen to know which market center they're with, you can search for the market center. For example, let's say market center 572. Here is the market center. And it actually shows you all of the leadership members, which you can reach out to. And this was what I was going to show you, Mary, for referrals. What I usually recommend to people, if you're just shot in the dark, you have no freaking clue where to start, look up, say, oh goodness gracious. Let's say you've got someone moving to Miami. Here's all the market centers that exist in Miami. And you can go in, let's go to Daytona Central. You can see who their team leader is. And I usually recommend just call them and ask for a referral on their ALC, because their ALC is guaranteed to be in the top 20% of their market center, which means they're going to be a real estate expert. They're going to have experience, and you can get a recommendation from the OP or the team leader based off of who might serve your client best. If you have no freaking clue where to start, just call and ask for a member of the ALC. They're guaranteed to have knowledge, because they have to be a certain number of years in the business. They have to be in the top 20% of production. And so they're a really, really easy, I have no idea where to start, in order to get your clients taken care of with somebody who has experience.
And don't be afraid to describe your client too, because they'll match based
Oh,
on
yeah.
like personality types or, Democrat, Republican, all those things.
100%. We have agents who call in and will be like, hey, I have someone who really, really wants someone who is family oriented, That's amazing. I have a family I have a team who every single person on the team's last name is DeBose. Let me get you their phone number. You know what I mean? And so just looking up the market center, calling the team leader and asking for that recommendation is a really, really great way to get your clients taken care of when you don't know where to start. Great question.
Can you just backtrack that a little bit? So you went to the white
So we're going
pages.
to, when you go to mykw.kw.com,
Mhm.
it's gonna take you to a login page. You'll log in with your same credentials that you log into Command with. And then you scroll down to the bottom and then you'll see this white pages button. From the white pages button, you go to Market Center, and that's when you'll just search by like either city or state and just find the one that's closest to where your clients are looking.
Okay.
So say
Gotcha.
you go that route and you find the person you're going to refer them to in Miami, would you then go in and like set up the referral thing within Command? Am I explaining that correctly?
Totally. And you absolutely can. I'm going to throw myself on a slice of humble pie right now and say I do not know how referrals in Command work. Brittany, help.
I'm actually grateful that you showed us this way because I totally forgot about the other white pages. But what was the question? I'm so sorry, I missed it.
She was asking about once she finds the agent that she's gonna refer to, does she go into Command and input it there? I know from my side of things, you don't necessarily have to. You can always just send a referral agreement, but I have no idea how Command referrals works. So I'm not
I
gonna
don't think that you have to. I think it's encouraged. I think it's best practice to do that. I would reach out to your principal broker though.
Okay,
He or
perfect.
she will know exactly.
I love
I just love Command. I love Notes. I like it all to be there. I think that one of the things I found out that wasn't in any of the training videos I did, because I like to keep everything, is if you have a contact in, like I've got an investor that I'm working with, I can literally send an email from my Gmail that I set up obviously from within the Command, like attached them, and all of my emails that come to me from him, and that I send to him from my Gmail automatically goes into that like as a note.
Yeah,
And if
in like the
you-
timeline or whatever.
Yes, if you are a note freak like me, well, like that was something I had to discover on my own. So I did want to mention that. Anybody that's like hasn't figured that out, as a person that loves all of that, it's amazing.
You're going to
I-
find so many more nuggets in Command like that. So yeah.
Yes. Yes, that is absolutely fantastic. Yes, I'm a note taker. I'm a color coder, so I am on your side, Cassie. You guys have been so fun. I've taught this class probably 10 times and I've never had people talk to me this much. You guys are incredible. I appreciate you. I saw faces and not black boxes. This was so great. Like I said, you guys should have my information in the chat from earlier. Please copy and paste it, whether I'm your MCA or not. I either can help you or I know who can. So please, if you ever need any help, reach out to me. I am happy to help you. Even if you're in the north, I still got your back. You guys are great. Reach out with any questions. I'm going to get that daily success system PDF to everybody so you can print it out if you want it. You guys are fantastic and I hope you have a great day.
Rocked it,
Thank
girl.
you, Rock. Thank you.
Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.